In its early days, Fortnite was known to bring out limited time game modes, or LTMs for short, for players to enjoy, and throughout the years Fortnite have released dozens of LTMs, a handful of which were made permanent and are still in the game to this day. And there's a very high chance you forgot about some of them. But before we get to that, if you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing so you can be notified whenever I upload, which is every 2 to 3 days. Also, I have another channel called Craigscraigd where I upload just as frequently, and if you want to check that out, the link will be in the pinned comment. So what is an LTM? An LTM is a game mode that Fortnite would release for a limited time, and it would typically run alongside the main Battle Royale mode, with the exception of the live event modes. LTMs would spice up the gameplay in a way that the regular Battle Royale modes couldn't do. For example, they could drastically change the loot pool to include like shotguns only or pickaxe only, or maybe there'd be a map change where they'd have to flood it with lava or cover it in a dense layer of fog. They would serve to provide the players with another experience when the normal Battle Royale mode could be getting a little bit stale. And over the years, Fortnite have released some fan favourite LTMs, such as the Infinity War LTM, which would have you play in a standard Battle Royale match. However, after a certain period of time, the Infinity Gauntlet would crash from the sky onto a random point on the island, and the first player who grabbed it would turn into Thanos. There was also the Air Royale game mode, which would have a duo of players living out their aviation dreams by working together to eliminate players in their planes in an increasingly shrinking play space. There was also Floor as Lava, where lava would slowly rise, covering the entire map in a sheet of lava that would damage players on impact. Players would have to build up to the sky to survive. And there was 50-50. 50v50 was the first LTM to ever exist. It had 2 teams of 50 players landing on the island, looting up, and then travelling to the zone where they would fight the other team. It was a fan favourite in the Fortnite community at the time, and it would return periodically throughout Chapter 1 until Season 6. In Chapter 1 Season 6, 50v50 was replaced by Team Rumble, which was like 50v50 but with less players and infinite respawns. Team Rumble was originally supposed to be an LTM, as it was periodically replaced by its sister game modes Disco Domination and the Food Fight LTM. However, after some time, Disco Domination and Food Fight did not return, and Team Rumble was kept as a permanent mode. It has been many years since then, and Disco Domination and Food Fight have not been seen in years. And since its release, we've had some changes in Team Rumble. For example, we had NFL Rumble and Unvaulted Rumble, which are variations of the mode that was released throughout the years. However, since the latter half of Chapter 1, Team Rumble has been in the game in some way, shape, or form. And while its player base has dwindled slightly over the past few years, the game mode is still very playable and serves as a good starter for new players and players who are grinding their challenges or going for high kill games. And while it's good that Team Rumble is a permanent mode, I personally believe that they should have kept the rotation between Team Rumble, Disco Domination and Food Fight, and even expanded upon it with more modes to keep things interesting. And here we have our first honourable mention of the video. Playground mode, or Battle Lab. It was introduced in Chapter 1 Season 4 as a limited time mode which allowed players to explore and play on the Battle Royale island freely for 1 whole hour. Due to its success, Fortnite decided to make it into a permanent mode, and then in Chapter 2 Season 1 they overhauled the mode, adding new features such as rifts and bot grenades. This was called Battle Labs. This mode stayed in the game for around 5 whole years before being removed from the game in early 2024 with no reason other than Fortnite removed Battle Lab to focus on introducing new and exciting features that keep the game fresh and engaging for its massive player base. Epic Games, the developer of Fortnite, constantly evolves the game to maintain interest and excitement among players. The fact that it was removed before the creation of this video today is why it's an honourable mention. Rest in peace, Battle Labs. In Chapter 1 Season 7, Fortnite released the Trios LTM, which would have players play in teams of 3. Until this point, there was only solos, duos, and squads in the game. This mode was such a success in the community that they ended up making it a permanent mode in Chapter 2 Season 5, and it's even used in some competitive playlists from time to time. Trios is still available to this day, unless you're in Oceania servers, in which case Trios is not available for what I can only assume is a low player count. Randomly in 2020, Fortnite released Party Royale. Party Royale was a mode where players could gather on a small island and just hang out. At first, this mode was quite revolutionary. From time to time, Fortnite would play mini concerts there, or they would play trailers, TV shows, and even a whole movie at one point at the theatre on the island. And this time it actually worked. Unlike Quibi. However, it has been years since our last meaningful Party Royale update, and now it's a mode for Fortnite RPers and people who want to flex their lockers. Party Royale is still in the game today, and if you want to entertain yourself for 10 minutes maybe, then there is the place to go. Another honourable mention would have to go to Imposters. Imposters was an LTM that was released in Chapter 2 Season 7 and was removed mid-Chapter 3. Well, why is Imposters on the list? Well, Fortnite did not market Imposters as an LTM, and many people thought that it was a permanent mode, and it deserved to be one. I believe that it was supposed to be one, but I think they got in trouble with Among Us for basically copying their game, so they removed it. This mode was so popular that people have recreated the mode in UEFN, so if you want to play a version of Imposters, I'll put the code for the map that is very similar to it on the screen now. In Chapter 5 Season 1, Fortnite released the Express It LTM, which was a remake of an older mode, Catch, where you could only use throwing items or healing items. This LTM was released for the winter update last year, and it wasn't too popular with the community. But why is it in this video? This LTM was removed a long time ago now, right? Well, yes. But no. Turns out if you have this mode favorited, you can still queue into the mode right now. So while Fortnite has it hidden from the player base, those who have favorited it can still access it. However, if you don't have a support creator code or any other way to make a custom match, then you're basically stuck in an infinite queue. Finally, there's an LTM that was released all the way back in 2018. And you can still play it today. It's not like Express It when nobody's playing it. No. Over a quarter of the player base is playing this mode at any given time. In Chapter 1 Season 7, Fortnite released the Ground Game LTM, which was my personal favourite LTM for a long time. In this LTM, players would be able to get 30 wood, 20 brick and 10 metal. And that was it. They could only place a maximum number of 7 builds. This mode also limited the amount of ammo you could pick up, but that's not really relevant. This mode would later return in Chapter 2 Season 6 and then was never seen again. Until it returned to the game in Chapter 3 Season 2 with a giant overhaul with Fortnite Zero build. This added the new movement that we use today, it completely removed the ammo cap, and more importantly, it removed builds completely. Some people say this mode saved Fortnite, and for 2 weeks straight, players were forced to play an updated version of the Ground Game LTM, and when building returned, Fortnite made it into a permanent mode alongside the build mode. You can still play Ground Game /Zero build today.